Welcome to Colorado. Between the amazing hikes, scenery, wildlife, and abundance of fitness opportunities, it just seemed like the perfect place to kick off the inaugural episode of myoGLOBEn. And in this trip, the goals will be to warm up with the hike, lift heavy at the gym, and finish strong with a cardio workout. We kicked off our trip with the very reason we visited Colorado, to see the amazing Rocky Mountain National Park. And honestly, it was the best time to have visited because it was the middle of September and the leaves were just changing color. It was especially beautiful in the morning when the sunlight came down and reflected off the leaves, giving the park this really nice golden hue. On the first day, we kept it relatively simple and did the 3.1 mile round-trip hike to Emerald Lake. It's a fantastic hike for beginners as it's relatively easy and takes you past many of the more accessible and popular lakes in the park, such as Bear Lake and our favorite one of the trail, Dream Lake. Then later that day, we went up to Trail Ridge Road, which is a 48-mile highway that cuts through the Rockies from the evergreen forest up and beyond the tree line into the tundra. There's a number of overlooks that you can stop at throughout this road. But my favorite one is the one that's about halfway through the park, which is when you reach the high point, which gives you a spectacular view at 12,000 feet high. And as you'll see throughout the myoGLOBEn series, the rule, at least for me, is that staircases were made for running, not walking. Just don't forget your belt like I did, or hold a camera in your hand while you do it, and you'll be fine. Reaching the peak marked the end of our day, but it was a great warm-up for what we had coming tomorrow, the Sky Pond hike. Another great reason to visit the park at this time is because it's peak elk rutting season, aka mating season. And during this time, the male elks will bugle, unleashing that famous and distinctive sound that they're known for. It can be heard from a mile away, and honestly, hearing it echo from the distance was one of the highlights of our trip. Watching elk was a great way to kick off our second day, and with that, we began our second hike, Sky Pond. A 9-mile round-trip hike that took us up to 13,000 feet in altitude. Honestly, it was the most physically challenging hikes that I've ever done. It's even more challenging when your wife makes you carry all of her stuff.
This is the reason Hibbo wanted to get married, because that way I could carry both backpacks.
I'm fine.
But I guess that's just her way of adding to the myoGLOBEn experience. I woke up and took a quick jog around a local trail in the park known for its moose sightings. It was finally time to head out of Estes Park, but we couldn't leave without running into, what else? More elk. Just across from our lodge, there was a large harem guarded by a massive bull, and he was on guard, and with good reason. Challengers were coming for his throne. But when you're as big as him, a simple charge will suffice to let everyone know who's the king of Estes Park. Maybe next year, guys. On the way down south, we stopped at Snooze, a popular breakfast eatery based out of Denver. After getting a pre-workout meal in, it was time to head to Denver and check out some cool places to work out. Today was leg day, and what better place to get a hard lift in than a hardcore gym? Iron Warrior Gym was the place that I selected. This place has literally everything you would ever need for your lifting workouts, and a pretty cool vibe to top it off.
About this gym, what's unique about it is it's very community involved. A lot of the implements here, especially in the back wall, the strongman stuff is all member owned. So a lot of our members bring this stuff in to use and to train. We hold 2 sanctioned strongman meets a year and 2 sanctioned powerlifting meets a year here.
They have both drop-ins and day pass punch cards, which make it a good option if you're there for a bit and need a place to lift for a few weeks. Now, as far as the actual leg day workout, when traveling, I like to keep it short and heavy to maximize efficiency. So I kick off here with 3x5 squats, followed by some deads. Afterwards, I burn out with farmer walks and sled work. Next up was Red Rock Amphitheater. It's actually a concert venue, but the stairs and awesome views make it a great place to get some cardio in. You gotta trust my word for it, because honestly, I hate cardio, but I love working out here. And with that, it's a wrap. 3 days barely scratches the surface of what there's to do in Colorado. But before I go, I just want to give one last shout out. On the way to the airport, we stopped at Cafe PAPRIKA. It's a beautifully decorated Moroccan restaurant, and honestly, this is some of the best Moroccan food I've ever had, and I'm saying this after actually having gone to Morocco. But that's it for this episode. If you enjoyed it, please subscribe and tune in for the next episode of myoGLOBEn.